Hello, everyone. I'm sure some excitement's going around because today is March 18th or March 5th in the Julian calendar, which means it's 3/5 or 35 for the 35th president. That's interesting. Today, I'm having a little brief. Firstly, if you have problems with my Telegram account, it is because I posted some videos from Serbia, I believe, and this company from South Africa said those were copyright videos, and it was about a direct energy weapon that went through the crowd and went pew with all the people. So they're all standing in the middle of the street and something rifled through the crowd and everybody literally went to the sidewalks like that. Have I been in that before? Yes. Have I seen it happen? 100%. Have I caught that on camera? Probably. I didn't go back and watch it. But I can tell you in my stomach, it was the most terrifying, disgusting feeling I've ever felt. And it was right around the time when the lady with the horse got trampled. So is that a coincidence? I don't think so. So on another note, I'm about to drop some some higher education on what I believe. What is AI? I've changed my opinion a lot in the last 5 years. Some of it is kind of the same, but it's just gotten more to the point where I feel a lot more comfortable having this conversation. So, what do I believe is AI? Firstly, I've always thought there is the evil programs running out there like many people believe. It's they're, just like the movie I Am Robot or whatever. People will think that robots are going to take over the world and blah, blah, blah. No, I don't think that. I don't think that at all. However, I do believe that there is some of that in the matrix, quote unquote, that we live in now. So I'm going to give you one little chart, just one today. Yes, it's going to be backwards on Facebook, and it'll be in the correct place on Rumble. But I'm going to explain to you how I believe that we are living, number one, in a time hologram matrix. Time hologram matrix. Our world is constructed and based on time. Okay? Time. And in reality, time is an illusion. We can all agree that when people go to heaven and you get a visit from people in heaven, I'm just using that etherically, that frequency or that person who's coming to show you that they're in heaven always looks young and healthy and great and is their best version, usually around the age of 30. Many people will witness that, if they grew to an old age. Okay? So I'm going to explain what I think heaven is in a very loose term, and then I'm going to explain the rest. So here's my little chart that I made, my Raven chart. And on the, I always do the visual descriptions for Michelle. So I have on the side, it says ether / Akashic intelligence equals Q. What does Q equal? Quantum. Okay, now I've said this before, but now this is a better description. Okay, in my opinion. In my opinion. This is my opinion. So I've drawn underneath, I have the electromagnetic plate, which is silver, under this big purple dome. Okay, and inside the purple dome is a golden dome, which I've named 4D plane. And then underneath that is a 3D plane, okay? So we have the 3D bubble, we have the 4D truth, and then we have the 5D, which is the total heaven on earth, all of this stuff. Okay, all of the frequencies in this beautiful place we know as Earth. Okay? Okay. We are born out of crystal. We're going crystalline form. Crystals are born from matrices. Okay, and in the center of the domes, I have the tree of life. Now, on a micro scale, we are all individual trees. All right, living in this 3D time hologram matrix. This is the zeros and ones that you see on the matrix. Okay, the zeros and ones, everything that programs us. And I drew it in red because of the root chakra, lower vibrations, all of that stuff. All right. So when we're in a 3D matrix, we know going to work, well, you got to be on time for that. Going to school, you got to be on time for that. Catching a plane, got to be on time for that. Catching anything, doing anything is always in a timely fashion in the 3D matrix. Okay? The more you wake up to your own personal truth in your little tree of life, and the more shadow work that you do, you realize that time really is an illusion, because when you're meditating, you get lost in a vortex. Your higher self, which I believe is in this big purple bubble, we're all up here, heaven on earth, in this big purple dome, all of us within this construct. This is our higher selves, and within the 3D, this is our meat suits right here. Our meat suits exist in this red dome. Until we start ascending and getting through our own shadow work and personal truths, our higher self moves up here. Okay, in the 5/5, we're ascending. And the more people that do that, and the faster they do it, that's raising the collective consciousness, that's increasing the Schumann, that's all of that stuff within our electromagnetic field. They don't want me talking about this. I'm glitching out on Facebook. Super hard. I've got full bars and I'm glitching out on Matrix. That's also what's been happening. So, in my opinion, I'm just going to say that Mandela effects are things that are witnessed in the third dimension, and then the more consciousness that moves on, we see it for what it really is, or whatever. So now our consciousness has changed in a higher frequency. So there was a Mandela effect video that I'd posted on Telegram that basically would take the phone and you could waft it over the Monopoly game, and the phone would see the monocle on the Monopoly man, but the Monopoly game had no monocle. And I'm like, how would that happen? Well, what if the phone only gets to a certain frequency and it's stuck? It's a time trap, basically a time trapped phone. It's trapped in the 3D hologram, so it doesn't see the things that are in the higher frequency. Simple. And vice versa, or it can see the things in the lower frequency versus, do you get what I'm saying? So it can see all 3D, 4D, 5D. And maybe that's a theory as to why our phones always get upgraded. Like when there's Samsung phone come out, I've talked about this too, they change your pictures. So you don't have as high resolution pictures on your other phone. You don't even do it. They do it for you. So you're like, well, why are my pictures so crappy on this old phone and you have better pictures on yours? I fixed my phone. You can fix your phone to take higher pictures again. I did not know that. But it makes sense that all of our old technology, okay, is from the 80s and 90s, and it only can go so high in a frequency. And honestly, right now, even on this Facebook video, and when I go load up Telegram or whatever, it is like, I'm just going to say it, fucking dial up. I am literally waiting 2 minutes in a city for my Telegram to load. I'm like, what is happening? What is going on? I'm right by Wi-Fi. I'm right by signal. It's the matrix of the 3D glitching. The ones and zeros. People are doing their shadow work in their bodies and deprogramming their demons. There's less and less demonic entities the more work you do. So the more work you do and the more work the collective does, we go to a heaven on earth frequency. That's why we'll probably need new phones, because our old phones are crapping out. They only have the spy tools on them. They only have this. They only have that. And those phones and everything that we're recording is in this prison. It's a prison of programs. Until the truth about all of the programs, human trafficking, money laundering, everything comes out, and the quantum collective and our higher selves all learn the truth. Then we go, and the energy switch. And I believe our reality will switch. What we look like will even change. Honestly, I think there's going to be a big portion of that happening because it is like a near-death experience. What would it be like when we go from carbon in a 3D form as a collective to the crystalline form where we're supposed to be? When there's no lies, there's no nothing. So once the switch is made, like once we get the truth and start marching, everybody does their work, and it's going to be really fast and furious for some people just waking up, but that's what they chose, and that's okay. It is okay, no matter who you are, where you are in your work. Nobody's better or less than. We are all together in this, all of us. Okay? It's not a competition. This is divine timing, everything. Everything is divine timing. So that is what I believe is happening. And hear me out on this. People who have more brain capacity, who we think maybe like, I'll just use Nikola Tesla, because everyone can agree that Nikola Tesla was an awesome person. And he rediscovered time travel. And he discovered, I believe, the secrets of the past and was trying to. We can all agree that he was a smart dude. Okay? I don't think there's one person who would disagree with me. If you are, wow, do some research. But Nikola Tesla, hear me out on this. I believe not only tapped into time travel, but also tapped into how to do the collective conscious, how to use your consciousness to time travel. Okay? To go from the fifth dimension to the third dimension. Maybe it didn't need a machine after a while. So what the thing he thought, need a machine, and then, oh, no, there's people who can do that. There's people who can do that. So I'll explain kind of what I mean by that. I know not only myself, I've had a lot of lately where I believe I've had remote viewing of a really close friend of mine. Her husband passed away. I love that guy. I love that guy dearly. And I'm getting goosebumps. He's like, yeah, sure, talk about me. Okay, I will, I am. So I had a dream not too long ago, and it was the husband and the wife, and they were walking what I would call up the left intuitive stairs. And it was like he was telling me, I get it, I can see, I know what's going on. It was like I'm following and I'm proud of my wife. It was a really beautiful dream. But then I woke up from that dream. I had a dream inside of a dream, and then I woke up from that. And I was like, what just happened? And it got me thinking, well, that man is the closest in time in this 3D matrix that is giving me clues and passing really clear messages to me. And I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. And Dana, you can chime in here any old time about how many things have happened so magically lately where it's like within minutes or seconds. And that's the manifestation power. Now, let's go back to manifest for a second. Why do you think it's called manifest? I don't know. Because they're manifesting from one plane to another as a collective. And when you get past one plane and you do the truth, you get to do humanitarian works in the collective. You manifest things. I don't know. I've never watched the show, but it totally makes sense. So, in my opinion, there's going to be a rapid. I will be doing some videos on what I discover about more in-depth JFK, and all of this stuff is just going to come whipping out at an alarming rate. So many things spoken. Yeah, it's so crazy. So many things spoken into the ether and manifesting. Yes, it's exactly coming. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I can't take a picture of the moon anymore. And I think it's a lot of people are just remembering. A lot of us are just remembering what we're here for and why some of these programs, like the last blood moon, is literally shuffling off things that no longer serve you. And in my opinion, by the time the summer solstice comes around of 2025, I believe that's when we're in the true alignment of the age of Aquarius. Oh, we are. I just got the biggest goosebumps all over my body. Woo! And what that means between now and then, that's not very many days, you guys. Like, we're only 3 months away, or maybe 107 days or something like that. That would be funny if that's what it was. I would laugh. I wouldn't be surprised. Somebody figured that out stat. How many days in between? So I think all of us are remembering why we're here, and that is our higher selves in the quantum field, okay, pulling our frequency higher, and more of us are remembering through the Akashic and the ether intelligence. Through the Akashic and ether intelligence. Now, the one thing I do want to say about AI, because people are like, oh my God, I believe after watching number of videos that one of the big things the collective will come to truth on is how powerful we let that AI get. Well, if we're the AI that's within the AI, then there's a point that we're all in divine God's love. And I believe that the cancer of an AI to overrun the organic matter the organic matter will always win, because it will treat the AI like an imposter when it gets out of control, just like bad vibes. But when the collective consciousness has no more programs of evil, so we learn about all the child trafficking. So we learn about all of the human sale of slavery and all of our birth certificates. We learn about all of that stuff in the collective. In the collective, we learn about all of that stuff. What do you think the chances are after we've had our bodies cleaned up, our minds cleaned up in med beds, whatever? We've cleaned out all of our food, we're eating healthy. We go through 3 or 4 or 5, maybe even 6 or 7 generations where nobody is sick. Nobody gets murdered. Nobody gets RAPED. Nobody gets harmed, because it's in a do no harm society. We will never think about all of that negativity for a very long time again. This is more monumental than I think a lot of people really have an understanding of how big this matrix is that was holding us all in place. This time hologram matrix. It has been such a slavery for so many years. And when the true her story comes out about the his story of the patriarchal world and the slavery and the money system and the triangle and all of that stuff, when all of that comes out and the true age of Aquarius and feminine rising and mothers are mothering and more people are having bigger families because it is the golden age of truth. That is why I made the 4D gold, because it's the golden age after that. So it's abundant and it's not about money. It is about the higher self healing frequencies helping us ascend. So if you haven't watched the movie Arrival, I think you should. I really do. I think it's awesome. And in my opinion, this is also how time travelers work. They go to 5D future because it's all in here, all timelines, all possibilities, all dragons, unicorns, you name it, are all existence in here. So they go time traveling and they're like, oh, let's see how that timeline went out when we did the emergency alert system on Easter. Easter. I like that one. I was like, yep, 420. Not going to say, but I think it's all leading up to there. But I think I'm going to say it. I don't know how many times I got to read Easter as our timeline. I'm just, seriously, that's almost everywhere I look in the comms. So, be prepared. The second coming, Christ consciousness. That's what the 5D is. Christ consciousness. This is pure love. Pure love. This is love and above. This is everything over your heart space. This is all the lower frequencies right here in 3D. Lower frequencies. Greed, jealousy, fear, superiority, whatever programs are in that 3D matrix that are still trapping people in there. Those are what needs to be detoxified. Totally detoxification. And it doesn't mean you have to dislike the program or who's representing the program. It's the recognition and forgiveness of the program. That's the most important within yourself. Forgiveness with self for whatever you personally, because we've all been duped. Everybody has been duped. Everybody's had some stolen. Everybody's been a slave. Some on a bigger scale than others. Okay? Again, it's your soul contract that is activating you right now. Your higher self is saying, we're almost there. Hold on. Be patient. And do that shadow work because it's necessary. Your higher self, your Akashic records, all of your past lives are saying you got this. That's all that's in the collective. Is all of us, all of you, together. Where we go one, we go all. All right? I hope that makes sense. So, again, don't panic if Telegram goes down or they're being DICKs to me. This is when it's going to be hit hardest, and I will try and obviously still do Facebook and Rumble lives and stuff like that, but I'm going to be doing a lot of work to the webpage. Speaking of the website, unifiedawakening.ca, there's some new buttons on there for you. If you would like, Dana added quite a good few features on there, and one is tips for a content creator. So if you do have stuff that you're ready to put together, and it's a fluid system for me, don't feel rushed or anything. This is a process for everybody. Okay, this is all new. It's all new. It's all new. A whole new world. Yeah. Haha. So there's some new buttons on there. There's some new articles on there. and feel free to go have a read. I just love how it's all coming together. And again, don't feel like you have to contribute something right now or whatever. We're all still learning how to work I'm still learning how to work the website myself. So don't fret. Like I said, the quantum system is just going to be easy. It's going to go boop, 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 boop. If they're reading our minds now, you guys, okay, to spy on us and use against us and shut my Telegram down and all that shit, then when that prison's gone and when the weather manipulation is all gone, then what? What's that going to look like? What is it really going to look like? So the more you get rid of the material stuff that is, and I don't mean sell your stuff or whatever, that's not what I mean, but the more you get rid of the things that hold you in the material world, because we're spirits living in a material world. So the more you get rid of that stuff and those programs, the more peaceful you feel in your heart, the more love you feel, the more abundantly love you have for everybody. So, and the more truthful it is, I think, because in heaven on earth, y'all know that everybody's happy. There's none of these things. And on a different note, I'm just going to throw this into the video because I think it's necessary. Did everyone see the little Z on Trump's forehead the other day? Kind of like Harry Potter. Remember what Z meant on Melania's dress? The inauguration? Remember the Z's that were put on the military tanks not too long ago? I have a little story for you. Today, I'm playing crossword puzzles, my little crossword games, and I put 4 tiles down on the board. I can't remember what it was for. And there was a D on the tile rack, and then up popped 4 more letters when it give me new letters, and it spelled DRUZE. And I was like, what the fuck? Wow! Do you know what the Z on Trump's forehead means? Druze. Anyone? What does Druze bloodline mean? Anyone? Anyone? Jesus bloodline. And for those people who commented on the JFK and Trump handshake picture, I'm just going to say you might want to take a little crash course in AI. What does AI photoshopping look like? Well, there you have it. And for those of you who don't know, JFK was pew-pewed at, you'll learn, and he actually lived to be 104 years old. He died on February 3rd, I believe, of 2021. All right? At 104 years old. But say, what if he's a time traveler? Then what? What if he's playing Trump? Or what if Elvis is playing Trump? What if Elvis and Trump were brothers? That would be hysterical. I would love that. I seriously would die laughing. Elvis Aaron Presley is George Patton's son. Yeah, let's throw in cousin Michael Flynn or something. Maybe cousin Julian Assange. I don't know. Maybe Nikola Tesla in there too. I don't know. JFK's in that bloodline, but on the other side of Omar Mukhtar there was 2 sons from Abraham Lincoln. One produced the George Patton line, and the other one produced the JFK line. What bloodline was that again? D-O-R-U-Z. D-R-U-Z-E. That's why the Zs were on the tanks. That's why the Zs are on Melania's dress. That's why the Zs are everywhere. Z for Zorro! Snap, snap, snap. So, I hope that helped you. And I'm glad for I actually laughed. It's really funny what's going on online right now. I had somebody comment whose last three digits were 666. And they left me two really funny comments. I actually went and put one in Gematria because I thought it was so funny. It was Raven as a retard. Go put that in Gematria. It was super funny. And that was on the last video, you know. But the other one was like, Trump's not saving any children from anybody. And I'm like, you might as well have just said blah, 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 666. Hey, I'm a demonic bot and I'm trying to get your attention. Like, I just started laughing. Like, wow, Captain Obvious. It was awesome. Cuckoo. So, anyways, yes, Harry Potter did it, didn't he? The lightning bolt. Yep. Yep, Harry Potter. JFK Jr. has a tattoo that was just written on his arm, actually. I don't believe that was an actual real tattoo. So, in my opinion, hear me out on this. Y'all saw the Trump video where he was talking to Barron when he was a little kid, and he's like, no cigarettes, no alcohol, and no drugs, and no tattoos. And well, why wouldn't you want somebody, if you were of a high bloodline or a high vibrating frequency bloodline, why would you want to go get a tattoo on your body? And that would be in the tattoo gun. There was actually something that happened on The Apprentice that I was like, what? Couple of things. I'll just talk about The Apprentice for a few minutes now. You're welcome. But one of the things that was mentioned is Dennis Rodman went to go give a Kleenex to some chick who was the evil villain, who was like, there was no tears coming out of her eyes. It was like the most bullshit moment, I swear. And even he knew there was no tears. But one of the girls it wasn't used, was it? And he's like, no. And she goes, DNA. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you even put that on The Apprentice? Why wasn't that edited out? Like, why? The other thing that's interesting is Melissa Rivers, when I was watching the thing about the Celebrity Apprentice, who's the best firing, who's this, who's that, Melissa Rivers, I forgot, was running away and she had an ankle boot on. Like, like a boot cast, an ankle monitor boot cast when she got fired. It was hilarious. So I think that was about 2014. In my opinion, a lot of things have happened since 2012, 2013. Like, I believe this is when the time hologram matrix started crumbling and a lot of truths were revealed, either through what I say, the boomerang information. You get a little bit, but it's not really the truth. It's like the corner of the boomerang, and then when the boomerang comes back, it slaps you in the face with the rest of the truth. You're like, what the fuck? Snowden, for example, in 2013, we all learned that they're spying on us, blah, blah, blah. But the more you get into the story, you find out how much they're spying on us and all that, and blah, blah, blah. And when the whole truth comes out, people will be like, you've seen me naked 1,000,000 times, or whatever. They have it all, everything, on all the bad guys. They don't care about you if you're just doing your daily activities of life. You're boring. Seriously, you're boring. So am I. I'm boring. So, anyways, that's pretty much what I got to say about that. The other things that I wanted to mention with The Apprentice is I find it coincidental, not really, how The Apprentice is on Prime now, seasons 1 through 7. Trump was asked, are you going to watch that? For sure. They have featured on Celebrity Apprentice some very big charities. I mentioned the Red Cross, but the other one that's been featured on there, and what does Trump do? Puts them in the spotlight. St. Jude's. St. Jude's Hospital has raised a lot of money on there, The Apprentice. Excuse me. I'm just trying to read all of my notes here and make sure. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to mention is those Diosin glasses. I posted that, or sorry, I think Heather posted that on the page. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll briefly explain it because it's interesting. They're red lensed infrared glasses or goggles that were used in Vietnam. And the story goes, the son of the father who was on one of these helicopters they gave the gunners these red infrared glasses to use. And as soon as the gunners would put them on, they would just start shooting. And it turns out that these red goggles, they could see demons flying beside them. So they were shooting at each other. And anyone who wore these goggles, even for a brief period of time, and could see the lower frequency demons that were like flying through the air, would lose their minds. The father of the guy who was in the video said his dad put it on just momentarily. Excuse me. And it affected him for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And I do believe that is what and why some of the cloud cover is going on up there. Because I think the veil is so thin, that is why there are people being triggered at such an alarming rate. I think everybody I know has had somebody get super upset in their life or at them or with themselves or whatever. People are being triggered right now. This is the Great Awakening, and this is the bumpy ride it was looking at, where we were looking at. So in my opinion, I think there is a lot of more higher frequency people that can see a lot more of the truth. They can see, they have the they live glasses on. They can walk around and see who's real and who's not, and feel who's real and who's not. And that's very disconcerting for a lot of people. The veil is coming off. Like, the third eye is seeing through so much crap, especially if you've done your deprogramming. If you deprogrammed yourself and are really working on connecting to that higher frequency of yourself, then you are seeing everything for exactly what it is. You're moving through that truth bubble. There is no veil, and you can see. And more people are having more and more dreams on such a higher frequency level that they're like, wow, I was flying in this dream. I was going here. We were going there. We could see this person from the other dimensions. I believe all of my family members are literally talking to me. Almost, I get goosebumps when I say that. Ooh, even my sideburns. So all of the higher frequency people from the fifth, whatever, in other dimensions on, are literally cheering us on to accomplish all of this together. That's what they're doing. The collective Akashic records, past lives, they're all sitting here waiting for all of us to fully come together, united. And I don't believe for a second that there's going to be a mass unity until the truth is known worldwide. Until the truth is known worldwide about all of the children and all of that stuff, there will not be unity because people don't see what's going on. There's a massive amount of people who just don't want to know or see what's going on. So that's why military is the only way. That is why it's all in divine timing. It's in the stars, it's in Akashic, it's in the ether, it's in the collective, it's in the quantum frequency system. Okay? In the frequency system. And only when the collective is at the right moment will we be awake to all the truth. And I said that at 77, which means Christ. Now I'm going to have to do a quick little, I don't have to, but I'm going to do a quick card reading just to see if this, oh my goodness, 2 cards just came flinging out. 1 card kept coming up all the time in the last few readings. Either I pulled it yesterday or Dana pulled it yesterday. It was crazy. So nuts. So we are the manifestors of our reality. The more you get rid of the shadow work, oh, so many cards. So I got 6 cards here. Wow. The more you do your shadow work, the more easy it is to just boop. That's why UnifiedAwakening.ca has been so awesome. You guys are gonna laugh. What did I say? Master manifestors, and there's the magician right there. Boo-doo-doo-doo. 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, Pentangles. That's what we were calling it, Dana and I. She called it 10 of Pentangles. And then she looked it up, and that's a pentagram. It's not a bad thing. The next card that came out is the Hierophant, number 5. And then 3 of Fire. I love it. So those are the 3 that are stuck together. And, oh, I love these too. The 6 of Air. I think these ones were the first ones, so I'm going to read these ones. That's there's a boat, like a sailboat. Watch the water. And then there's an Ace of Fire. Ooh, that's a good creativity. And there's kind of like a glowing lamp orb thing on there. And then 7 of Earth. And it's this spirit being. And he looks like he's got some angel wings on the thing. Oh, it looks like Cliff High. I don't know what Cliff High looks like. The magician looks like Cliff High, Valerie says. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. So, let's go to the magician. Number 1. Number 1. I love these cards. Alchemy. Magician. When I'm in alignment with Spirit's will, miracles are possible. When I see this card, I'm reminded that my will and skill alone will yield limited results. When I remember my partnership with Spirit, all is well. What? I'm required to explore my commitment to this co-creative alchemical relationship and see the results manifest beautifully. Through me, Spirit works magic. Love. Hierophant. Spiritual practice. When this card appears, it reminds me to be committed to a spiritual practice to ensure a conscious contact to my higher power. What? When I have a daily practice of prayer and meditation steeped in gratitude and committed to being a co-creator, life works out in wondrous ways. Rituals are in my highest good at this time. Exchanging vows is also highlighted. And that's to yourself, your higher self. You're committing to be a better version of yourself. I'm never in competition with anybody but a past version of myself. Yip, yip, boop. Hi, Ireland. Hi, Ireland. 3 of Fire. Expansion of opportunities, the fullness of creativity and achievement. I'm on the right path towards my success. I have abundance and opportunities before me. I need to trust myself, for I can make good choices for myself and co-create situations and relationships that are in harmony with my heart's desire. That's funny that I said with my work's desire. With my heart's desire. And then the 6 of Air, the boat. Rite of passage. A necessary change in thinking to gain greater wisdom. Wow, isn't that appropriate for today? However turbulent the waters at the moment, I trust that if I create calm within, my outer conditions will soon be calm too. I am conditioned to expect troubles ahead, but I have shifted my awareness and know that I can choose to believe that stepping into the unknown will bring me to what I truly desire. I am in transition to something better. Oh yeah, you are. Oh yeah, you are. I am in transition. Ace of Fire, a spirited powered action. Inspired transformation. Access to co-creative power. What? Didn't I just say all of this? When I feel my connection to Spirit, I see unlimited potential for transformation. There's no reason to fear because I'm fully supported in imagining something new and daring to make it happen. This is a time to dream big. What does Trump say all the time? Dream big. I can be bold and free because Spirit inspires me to turn my dreams into reality. Ooh, I love it. And then the 7 of Earth is beautiful. Opening to a new strategy, being at a crossroads, a decision to be made. As I reflect on my progress to date and see where I stand, I contemplate whether I want to continue singing the same song or change my tune. I'm always free to go back and reimagine what I might co-create. If what I manifested does not serve me as I thought I might, I don't have to be afraid to admit it is no longer for me. That is the key. That is the key, really. When you realize it's no longer for me, what's the big deal? Move on, right? Whatever I choose to do, I'm not afraid to start over, for I feel assured that Spirit will always support my highest good. And that's what it truly is about. And those ones actually came out first. So it is about moving through that beautiful spot of seeing whatever doesn't serve you and moving through it. Yeah. What? Scooby Doo? Scooby Doo? Snoopy Doo? But anyways, so yeah, that's all I kind of wanted to say. I'm just gonna go back to my little chart quickly and just say our higher selves are really asking our biological entities to do the deprogramming in your own truth, so that you can move freely between the realms without being attached to any outcomes. That's what I think true time traveling is all about, anyways, is not being attached to the outcomes and being able to adapt and pivot. So everything that you deprogram, you've got to say you quit smoking. What do you do instead of smoking? What do you replace that with? What kind of activities? That's kind of the similar thing when you're deprogramming anything else out of your life. You don't find that thing serves you any longer, so you create a new path for yourself in your best foot forward. That's what we always want to do in Ascension. Put your best foot forward in your highest self and clean out those bad programs. That's what's necessary, cleaning out those bad programs. So thank you very much for watching the video. Read a couple more comments and lay it down, let it go. That's right, Carolyn. I love it. It kind of looks like a cliff. Cool cards, cool looking. I love that ten of pentangles. Hey, Linda. Cleaning like a badger, out with the old. Exactly. What happened to my telegram? It says not available due to copyright infringement. I know. We removed the video that is infringing somebody's rights, but what they've done is they've shadow banned my entire telegram right now. I don't know how long it will be on there, but if it lasts for any length of time, more than a day or two, I will have to create a new Telegram account. All right? Don't worry. Don't worry about it. That's just what's necessary. And who knows how long that will even last. So don't flip out. Don't whatever. It's all going to be okay. I love my Telegram. I love that I have almost 100,000 posts in there in 5 years. So don't think that's by accident that they're tomfuckering with me. So they do it everywhere. Like I said, they just glitched out my Facebook and I have full bars. Full bars. There's a glitching. There's glitching. Oh, we don't want you to say that. So we'll all be okay. And like I said, I'm going to try and post more to Unified Awakening. You can always find me on Facebook. It's just the content that I love posting. I will be making a new X account today. I created a TikTok account today. And I'll be posting all the links to those on UnifiedAwakening.ca. Unified Awakening will have my links to all my new stuff. So just give me a day or two to get it on there. And if my Telegram's out, I'll be posting somewhere else. You can't shut me up, okay? That's the way it's going to be. Oh, and for people, I didn't take this plastic off, but I'm going to. Not that I need it anymore, but this is a private plate. You can order them on Amazon, and I'm going to explain briefly how this works. And I believe we're all going to go to this. It says, no driver license or insurance required. It says private, not for commerce use, private mode of travel. So anybody who's stuck one of these on their car basically knows that they're not consenting to the corporate baloney syrup anymore. Okay, they're not. Those corporations are all dead anyways. So this is the way we're going. So there are people who have gotten this on their cars. You can order it off Amazon. It's about $13, $16. Depends where you live, I guess. And put it on your car. You're not required to have a driver's license, registration, or insurance. Now, I was asked today, well, how does that work? Well, for me personally, I haven't had a driver's license for at least 12 years, okay? Now, in my province of Alberta, It's all privatized here. So if I went to go get a driver's license, for example, I'd probably have to take some course for to give me cheaper insurance. Because if I just went and took my driver's test, then my insurance, I would be what they call a graduated driver, like I was 16 years old, and I'd probably have to pay $7,000. I wouldn't be allowed to drive after midnight. Like, I'm not kidding you. It's so fucked up here. And my insurance every year would be, I'm guessing, $7,000 to $10,000 on a piece of crap car, just for liability because I'm a new driver. A new driver even though I've been driving since I was 14, so 41 years, 42 years. The answer to everything. Anyways, so I have not had a driver's license because I don't believe in it. So I've saved myself $70 a year for 10 years. Okay, now insurance, like I would have paid $7,000 a year minimum on insurance for 10 years. That's 70,000. So now we're at $77,000 that I've saved in 10 years. Just going with 10 years because it's easy. So if I slap this plate on my car and I go driving around and I'm in a do no harm situation, la la la, and the police pull me over, they can't give me a ticket because I'm not doing commerce. I've proved I'm not doing commerce. However, if you go put one of them plates on that you already have on your car and you let it expire, you're going to get a ticket. You're also going to get a ticket for not having a driver's license. Why is that? Because when you put that stamped thing from the registry department on that plate on your car, you're saying, yes, I'm going to do commerce. Yes, I'm going to get a driver's license. And yes, I'm going to have insurance. But if I drove around and somebody hit me and they're insured and I'm not insured, how much money have I saved over 10 years of not having insurance? $77,000. Do you think I can afford another $1,000 piece of shit car? Yep, 100%. That's my math. This is my opinion. You don't have to do it. I'm just saying. This is how I believe that I have broken that matrix. Okay? I live in the city. I don't need a car. I don't need any of that nonsense because I can get around quicker and cheaper than having a vehicle, slapping all that insurance, and worrying about the Calgary City Police being a bunch of dinks to me. Right? Out in the country, it was different. Out here in the city, different story. So, much easier to get around. I know how to get everywhere in the city. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So, you can tell that that's how I decided to save some money. So, yeah. I think that's all I wanted to say. So, yes, this is available. You can go do it. I believe people who are ready to exit the matrix and not pay all of that bullshit. Insurance will be gone soon. Registries will be gone soon. All of this will be gone soon. This is literally the 3D realm of money that is coming to an end. Like we know it. All of that stuff. So I really think that the full release of the JFK files and all of this other stuff coming out, the Epstein list in its entirety, and honestly, it's really funny. A few weeks ago, before I moved, we went for breakfast. And this guy at breakfast, I'll just say he was like a real life Twitter troll. He interrupted our conversation with his family. Like, he was an older man, and he looked like he had Bell's palsy. I'm not going to say why I thought he might have had that situation going on, but anybody who's watching might know. But he's sitting there with his wife and his daughter, and he interrupts the conversation to tell us, like, I don't know, really, I do know how it started, but was talking about the fourth turning, and then like, I've talked about it before, and after 80 years, we're at the end. He goes, oh, so we're at the end of all this. And I said, yeah, probably by 2028, a lot of this information will come out, and da-da-da. And he's like, I said something, I don't know, about the 51st state or something. And he's like, do you know that Trump bankrupted a casino? And me and my friend were like, so? like we don't care. And I said, do you know that over 800,000 children are human trafficked, or 2 million? I said 2 million over that every year. And I want to talk about that. I don't really care about a casino and blah, blah, blah. And then the daughter pipes up. She's, I don't know, probably in her 30s, pipes up. Do you know Trump's been on Epstein Island? I'm like, oh, he has? I said, where did he fly to exactly? Where did he take off and land exactly? Where are those 4 places? Do you know? None of them were Epstein Island if you actually looked at the flight log. Anyways, the guy ended up just getting all pissed off. He interrupted our breakfast to be a Twitter troll, I'll just say. I was just like, people are so triggered. Like, holy moly. I ended up going, all right, doing the waitress. Have a nice day. Have a great day, you. Have a nice day. I wish you Christ consciousness. Oh, you're a Christian? I'm like, that is not what I said. Christ consciousness. I was like, woohoo! He was right unhinged. I got unhinged Twitter troll, old fart. Probably, jibby jam. I don't know. I was just like, woo. Yep. Oh my goodness. It was quite something. I haven't had that kind of confrontation for about, I'll say 4 years where people were that, maybe 3. But yeah, it's like some people are stuck in another time zone in the 3D plane. That's all. They're not where we are yet. I can't even with some of these people. I was trying to be pleasant and fun and and I was like, you're a fucking dick. Like, I don't want to be around you anymore. Like, what would you guys have done? Would you guys have told them off? Like, just get lost, dude. Go away. I don't give a care. So, yeah, it's interesting. Right unhinged, some people. But anyhow, yeah, we shall call, what was that? I'm going to read it. We shall call his kind Jibby Jab Jims. Seriously, I was going to ask, you're sounding very, very, I don't know, I don't even want to say it. Anyways, because I have love for everybody, and I'm just so over those people, the real life trolls. But they're just there to see if they can tweak us off. And if we can't get upset, then you've won. If you're going, okay, I'm just gonna watch you burn your wheels, and then you're winning. You're winning. The biggest life lesson on earth from all realms is the emotional intelligence lesson. And if you cannot get through your triggers and increase your emotional intelligence and stay grounded, this next part is going to be really, 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 really poopy. Like, I'm talking poopy of the poopiest levels. Shit is going to be flying in so many directions. I use this analogy, and you're welcome in advance. You are so welcome in advance. The Great Awakening is going to be like, and all this truth coming out is going to be like taking a fucking pressure washer to a dairy barn floor. And there's going to be shit flying in every fucking direction. Every direction. And if you don't have protection on, you're however you bubble up, you put on your armor of God, whatever. If you do not stay grounded, not only are you going to be like riding through this shit storm, but you're going to be eating a lot of shit too. Because if you don't realize how that shit pertains to your life and your effect on other people and your self-awareness, it is going to be a nasty, nasty ride. You're going to be in front of that power hose instead of behind it, watching. That's what's happening right now. Are you going to be in front of the poop or behind the poop going, I'm just going to watch how this plays out. I'm not going to get attached to any of the poop until the poop settles. That's what's coming up. So buckle up, buttercups. March 1-8 in Gematria. Today's Gematria. Yeah, March 1-8. So I love you guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please don't get all weirded out by the Telegram. Like I said, it is what it is. I love posting to Telegram. I love it. I absolutely love it. But because this is going on, we'll just wait and see. We're gonna sit back and assess. Like, don't look up. We're just gonna sit back and assess on that Telegram and see what happens. Like, I'm not gonna get too freaked out about anything. So I love you guys. Thank you very, very much. I am super grateful, literally, for everybody who's visited the site, everybody who's given such awesome comments and feedback. And again, a huge thank you to Dana for taking what's in here and putting it out there and helping create. I'm just super grateful because I do think this is a fabulous template for everything and everybody going forward who is ready to help each other. So, like I said, there's a map on there for a humanitarian button. There's a map on there for a newsletter. There's, yeah, all of that stuff. So we're refining the system and getting it a little bit more laid out. So thank you for all of your input, even in the group chat and everything. The group chat's still going. Post all you want in there. Maybe that's where I'll post for now, but I don't know what else to do with it other than it is what it is. So thank you very much for watching. Have a fabulous, fabulous, what is this, Tuesday? Yeah, it's getting good. Panic mode. Enjoy the show. That's what the Delta is for today. 6 years ago. 7 years ago. Love it. How did they know 7 years ago that the JFK files were going to be released when they put that in the Q post? If Q was like a big psyop, like how does that work? I don't get it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Thank you guys very much. I love you dearly. Have a fabulous day. Boo-doop.